Good evening, dear viewers. It's time for a movie review, and I don't really do these that often. I really want to do these, even though I really have a lot of opinions on film, art, and what have you, that I really do want to talk about. I'm sorry my video's a little laggy, but uh, I'm still working on a Mac, and I'm using Photo Booth to do my videos. So, soon. Anyway. Minions: Rise of Gru. This film was surprisingly good. I thought it was very enjoyable. It does give you a good idea of where Gru's origins with villainy come from. We already kind of had this idea of that this little kid was a bad guy, but this is the film where we see him start to become that villain for the Despicable Me franchise. This old timer villain who was kicked out of his Sinister Six group of bad guys, kind of takes him under his wing and becomes the father figure Gru really never had. And that's the part of the film I really enjoyed. The Minions, being the title character, it's in the name of the movie, obviously return. And this go around, I felt like their presence was a lot more warranted in this film. They definitely did contribute to the plot. And there were a lot of great and funny moments involving these little characters, these little blue and yellow pill midgets with arms and legs, and either one or two eyes. There's a lot of those silly song renditions that you get from the Minions, like from the Despicable Me movies and the series throughout, and a lot of classic 70s, 60s and 70s era music, because this movie does take place, I want to say, in the 1970s. I can say that much for sure. And it wears that like a badge of honor in this film. There are a lot of references and trivia and subtle little details that a lot of people, especially a lot of younger audience goers, would not pick up on. And I think that's why myself, my mom, and my aunts had a lot of fun with this film, was because we were probably the only ones laughing at certain points within this film. Because the children definitely didn't know what these record players were, or these booths that you could listen to music before you actually buy that, because nowadays you have those headphones that you can play inside the stores, or heck, you could just buy it online, iTunes and whatnot. And it's references like that, I think, that might hit that nostalgia button for a lot of viewers if you grew up through those times. And I definitely didn't have any problems with the music selection, because first of all, they played "You Can't Always Get What You Want," which is arguably my favorite Rolling Stones song, and can't go wrong there. There's a lot of good comedy in this movie, but a lot of moments of Deus Ex Machina, stuff, these plot points just suddenly resolving themselves out of nowhere, or the Minions get into some kind of shenanigan, and literally out of nowhere someone steps in to help them out. One of the Minions, named Otto, is trying to find this one biker, and he's literally bicycling through deserts, forests, and he eventually collapses in the middle of a desert on the road, and the biker, lo and behold, stops for him and gives him a ride to San Francisco, which not only is is it the person that the minions has been trying to find, but also going to the same place that, well, the minion is going. So there are a few moments where parts of the plot kind of resolve themselves seemingly out of nowhere. The whole crux of this story is the mentor of Gru, this mentor villain, is cast out by this Sinister Six group of villains. Now it's like 5. And they have the possession of this amulet, or this medallion, that ties in with the Chinese zodiac, because we have to appease the Chinese media at every twist and turn, in order for Hollywood to make money nowadays. Oh, hail Xi Jinping, we are not worthy. But that gets stolen by Gru, who is a huge fanboy of these villains, and wants to say, yeah, look at me. I want to be like you. You kicked me out, and guess what? I managed to do it. I stole from you guys. Now, are you going to let me into your group? And at which point I would just say, I would just keep it, or something like that. Gru has a lot of character in this film, and it's one of the most sincere moments I've seen of the character within the Despicable Me franchise. And he definitely has a character arc. He, not only him by himself, but his attitudes towards the minions themselves. He at first saw them as a nuisance, and rightfully so. The minions are basically they're children, and they're kind of stand-ins for little toddlers, like the little evil henchmen, and always making things progressively worse than they already are, but still somehow managing to find a way to save the day at the end, or whatever the villain equivalent of that may be. So, waiting for the clock. So, if you did not know, it is currently 8 o'clock right now. I think one of the things that this movie benefited greatly from was that because of COVID, it was able to delay its release by a year or so, because I believe this was meant to come out in 2020, maybe 2021, but obviously COVID-19 happened and it was delayed. And I think that was a good thing, because a lot of people, I imagined, have noticed, got kind of sick and tired of the minions over the years. I mean, I've seen Despicable Me 3, and it wasn't the best. And Minions gave you what you wanted with the title characters, but a little too much. You just wanted to see more of the antics, the silliness of these characters. And you definitely get that in here, but I think this also has the benefit of having Gru to balance the comical stuff out with the more grounded and human moments of the film. And that's why I really would suggest this film, because it is surprisingly human. It knows when to take itself seriously, but when to have fun with it. The film does go by really quickly. It doesn't feel like it's however long that film is. It feels time just went like that. And I guess that's really fitting for a lot of children nowadays. We don't have really the highest or the longest attention spans. So if you're looking for something to kill time, this is a good choice for children. Or if you're looking for a good family film, this would also be a very good film. I mean, if you love the franchise in general, I would highly recommend this. On a scale of A to F, like school grading, I would give Minions Rise of Gru a B minus. There are a lot of Deus Ex Machina moments where things kind of took me out of it for a moment, but I think a lot of my complaints mainly had to do with the theater I was watching it in. It wasn't particularly that great that day. Food was a little expensive, so maybe that kind of influenced my bias towards this film. Maybe if I watched it in a different theater, I would have had more favorable things to say about it. But overall, I would still suggest this. But having said all that, dear viewers, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy 4th of July. Please take care and go see Minions Rise of Gru.